Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at new Immortal Hulk. Now this isn't going to be a comprehensive guide or review, this is more or less kind of like my initial gameplay with the champ. I brought him somewhere along the lines of Act 4, the quest where Guillotine is the boss towards the end of Act 4, because he's a 4-star rank 3 at Sig 1 currently. I will add some more Sig stones in him in a moment, but for now we're just going to go and see how he behaves in these regular fights, and I'm gonna go over kind of like my initial impressions and kind of like slightly try to explain kind of like the gameplay style with the guy. And I have brought in like a Nick Fury suicide sustainability team with a Heimdall safety net, just because I wasn't entirely sure how this is going to work. And to be quite honest, like for a casual questing, I quite enjoyed it. He had a decently good questing speed. I don't think he will have the damage output of quite the top kind of like bursty champions. Unfortunately, that quite seems the fight length that he is designed for. He doesn't seem to be too suited for too long of the fights and 2 matches. And in all honesty, his kit really doesn't come together in longer fights. It's decent in shorter fights, and that's about it. Like, because that cooldown of immortality is far too long to wait, and if you do have to spend those 50 seconds to wait for that cooldown to go away and you can start actually playing the champion again properly, then yeah, it's not really suited for that. So the idea of this champion seems to be to get through the fight with whatever health you have on you at any given time, plus that initial indestructibility and the heal. If you do need to repeat the cycle, then he doesn't quite seem to be worth it. So there he kind of seems to draw parallels, let's say, from Corvus Glaive, which is also a champion largely designed for quicker fights. But here's the problem, like where would you want to use him instead of Corvus or above Corvus? Because Corvus has the cheat death mechanic as well, and he can play with very low health for days, and he doesn't have to worry about ability accuracy preventing that immortality from activating. And there are several other inherent issues with Immortal Hulk, but I will lie if I'm gonna say that I don't kind of like find his playstyle kind of cool. I do like it quite a bit. Problem is, I don't think he's going to be very practical in most of the series content. There will be some places where you definitely want to use this guy. Like, for instance, when in AQ you are facing Spectre and Gimme nodes, he can completely ignore Spectre, which we're going to see at the boss fight. And also that massive heal can definitely help you demolish Gimme node in Alliance Quest or Act 6. And that's very cool. But other than that, he doesn't really have much in terms of utility. The good thing about him is that he doesn't rely on having access to buffs or debuffs outside of like parry stun. But parry stun is very, very important if you want to maintain the momentum and being able to stun the opponent in general. Obviously, he does well on degeneration lanes. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure where this character will land. I am somewhat disappointed after checking out all the initial streams and character breakdowns and things like that, because his kit seems to be fragmented. That rage timer is far too short. That rage timer is so short, in fact, that pretty much 90% of special attacks will automatically force your rages to expire. So against vast majority of the opponents, whenever opponent uses special attack, you go back to 0 rages. In addition to that, even if you yourself miss an initial parry, that window is so tight that you will lose those rage attacks. And we all know that parry has been quite iffy recently. And that is a definite problem for him, especially kind of in longer fights. I think he would significantly benefit from increased timer for the rages from 1.5 seconds, I believe, to about 2.5 seconds. And in addition to that, the timer should be paused during opponent's special attacks. And even then, you would still be reliant on opponent cooperating with you, throwing special attacks in timely manner. But at least you'd have much better chance, much better shot on average to kind of like build him up and get to those big numbers. So he can hit quite hard, and that is great. That is awesome. As I'm showcasing here, he's blitzing through these fights relatively quickly. And it's not the fastest though, because to be honest, just for the comparison's sake, I brought in Terax at the same rank level, and after a few ramp-up fights, Terax was able to finish out these fights in a relatively similar speed with the same rank level, because considering the fact that I am running Suicide Masteries, which you typically wouldn't do in Act 4, and considering that you still have the Nick Fury synergy benefits, stuff like that, his attack is quite inflated. On the bright side, he, again, is pretty much made to be run with Suicide Mastery, so I do like that. I do like the fact that he incorporates recoil and accounts for that in his own mechanics. But inability to kind of like cheat death when your immortality is on cooldown is one of the bigger issues, because you will in any meaningful longer content end up playing with like 1% health, and we all know those are the kind of like downsides of already playstyles, like with things that we have where when you're using it with a champion's energy. And here you don't even really have that safety net past that, unless you artificially bring in Heimdall or use Hela Angel's energy or something like that. But even that will not save you for long enough, I suspect. But enough of the negative. As I said, I will kind of like do more comprehensive guide review breakdown video of him in a few days time, once we actually get more information, once there are more clips to see what he can do, because clearly he can output some decent damage numbers, so that should make for some decent videos. And clearly he's also very, very fun to play. For most part, I wished he was better, because doesn't have much utility in my opinion at all, and the things that he has often are quite risky. Any damage over time effects will absolutely shred this guy. Any ability accuracy reduction has the potential to completely destroy Immortal Hulk, and that is going to be a huge weakness against this guy, even in Alliance War defense, and especially in Alliance War offense. Because if you're using this guy offensively, and if the defender has Assassin Mastery, you have a significant chance for your immortality to fail and for you to simply die unexpectedly. So he is unreliable and absolutely pretty much unusable in Alliance War. And then if you place him as a defender, and if you as an attacker maxed out Assassin for that fight, once again you have very significant chance to completely bypass that whole immortality thing. And all things considered, he really isn't that tricky of a defender, because there are no specific abilities that really kind of like helps him on defense outside of that immortality and healing, which can be shut down. So yeah, I kind of was hoping for a bit more, I'll be absolutely honest. There are several easy changes, like I mentioned before, with pausing that rage on opponent's special attacks, maybe giving him some more power control, maybe giving him similar mechanic to Punisher 2099, where if you push opponent to level 3, then they are power locked and slightly power drained. In addition to that, I will actually upload another video today where I'm going to discuss the downsides and downfalls of abilities that are connected with your basic combos, and more specifically finishing the basic combos. And another interesting way to tune him, perhaps to be more player friendly, would be that instead of having a second medium, be that the rage attack on his basic combo, I think he would quite significantly benefit on that second rage attack being your second light, for instance, because then at least you could have the option of doing the dashback intercept, and even that is not guaranteed, but I think you would have somewhat more success in doing that, as in like you parry, go for your medium, get your initial rage, drop 2 lights, refresh those rages, and then you can do a dashback intercept or parry again, for instance. So yeah, I think there are definite things that have been overlooked with this champion. once again, all that being said, set aside for now, for the purpose of this video, and we are closing to the end of it, I do think he's a great amount of fun. His animations are cool. He's most Hulk-like Hulk. Unfortunately, even though he's the latest Hulk added in the game, he's nowhere close to being the best Hulk in the game. He's arguably like the 4th best Hulk in the game, which is not saying a lot, because we have She-Hulk, we have Red Hulk, we have Gladiator Hulk, and I think then probably this guy. But yeah, now it's a perfect showcase to show that he completely ignores Spectre, which is quite interesting, fairly unique. I love that. But also with that, I think this video is going to be pretty much over here because that guillotine is about to get nuked. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's showcase. Let me know what are your first impressions about the champion. What do you think about the guy? Do you think he's going to be great, useful, meta champion, or just like a novelty, fun questing champion? But all that being said, don't forget to hit that sub button, like button, all the other buttons. And yeah, I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya.